Welcome to Healing Over Here, the podcast where we journey together through healing, self-discovery, and empowerment.
Join your host, T, each week as she dives into topics that help you heal and become the best version of yourself.
Whether you're dealing with loss, navigating complex emotions, or seeking inspirational support, you're in the right place.
Join us as we explore insightful conversations, practical tips, and heartfelt stories that remind you that healing is possible, and it starts right here, right now.
Let's go.
All right. Welcome to the very first episode of Healing Over Here, where we will be embarking on a journey of healing. I'm your host, T, and I'm also your fellow traveler on this path of recovery and growth. Thank you so much for joining me today. In this inaugural episode, I want to share a bit about my personal story and the inspiration behind Healing Over Here. We will also dive into what you can expect from this podcast in the coming episodes. So just sit back, relax, and enjoy. Okay? So let me take you back to where it all began. For many years, I can admit, I have lived with the shadow of some past traumas and challenges that definitely did impact me. It impacted my mental, emotional, spiritual, and physical well-being. And I'm actually working on turning all of that around through this podcast and some other things that I will be doing. And we'll talk about that later. But like many, I struggled with finding the right path to healing and getting over some things because often I felt alone in my journey. Okay? But through time with myself, support from my loved ones, and a determination to reclaim my life, I began to uncover the power of healing. And I want to share that with you through this podcast. Okay? So today, July 1st, 2024, we are pushing the reset button to a newer you and a newer me. Okay? We're doing this together. You know, healing is not a linear process, and it's definitely not a one-size-fits-all solution. And I realized that there are so many facets to healing, be it through therapy, mindfulness, community support, or simply through the act of sharing our stories, right? Because sometimes there has been a taboo associated with simply sharing our stories. We will hear what happens in this house stays in this house. But I'm not saying, oh, you go out and gossip and tell the whole world all different things happening, but you can definitely confide in your trusted circle, right? And I hope that this becomes a trusted space for you. But this realization led me to create Healing Over Here, a space where we can come together, share our experiences, and support one another through the ups and downs of our healing journeys. So I have been healing through several things, but when I heard someone share their story with me of a cheating spouse, and we're going to cover that in a future episode real soon. That might be number 3, episode 3. But when I heard that, it gave me more confirmation that I needed to start this podcast, because there are things that we're not discussing, and there are things that we definitely need to talk about and address. Okay? And so the name of the podcast, Healing Over Here, was birthed out of a conversation I had with my teenage daughter, Miss B. And we're definitely going to have Miss B on really soon. But healing over here is a phrase that conveys a message of healing, self-improvement taking place in the present moment, right? We're not going to wait to heal. We're going to heal right here, right now, because it suggests a sense of immediacy and also a personal involvement in the process of healing. We can't be a passenger in the process of healing. You definitely need to jump, okay? Not get over, but jump into the driver's seat, because that is the only way to your healing journey. Take control, right? You have to take control of it. So Healing Over Here will be a platform dedicated to providing guidance, support, resources. We're going to pull a lot of different things out really soon. But we're also going to emphasize that healing is happening right here, right now in our community. Okay? And in this podcast, we're going to explore various aspects of healing, right? And we're going to hear from some experts, but what I'm more excited about is we will be able to share stories from everyday people like you and me who have faced their own battles. But get this, they emerged stronger, right? Because even though all of these things are happening to you, it's more so about how you react and how do you emerge from it. Because you can only control your actions, right? You can't control the narcissist that you're dating and what he's doing or what she's doing, but you can control you and you can control whether you stay or not, okay? But my hope is that through these stories and insights, you will find the inspiration and tools that you need to continue on your path to healing. And right now, because I need to protect the identities of those willing to share their stories, we are going to keep it faceless. But of course, if you have a one-on-one with me, you will definitely see my face, right? So again, if you have a story you want to share or want to be on the podcast, please reach out to me. I would love to have you. And we can agree to disagree, right? But I would still love to have you. But for our first episode, I really wanted to keep things simple. I will share a little bit about my journey and some of the key lessons that I've learned along the way. But we will also discuss the importance of creating a support system and finding the right resources to aid in your healing process. Okay. So one of the biggest lessons that I've learned is it's okay to ask for help. And I know that sounds really simple, but yes, it's okay to ask for help. For instance, if you are a mother who is overwhelmed with all the different things that you have going on, it's okay to ask for help. That might be, let me get a sitter so that I can go to the grocery store in peace. Or maybe I need to outsource laundry. Whatever it is, it's okay to ask for help. It is a situation where you just feel overwhelmed and you need to talk to a professional, reach out to a therapist. Most times your job has free resources for that, right? So it's okay. And for a long time, for me, even though I knew I could ask for help, sometimes I believed that I needed to face my challenges alone. And of course, I leaned on God, I leaned on my faith, but I was dealing with things by myself. But what I realized was, hey, I'm not Superwoman, and it's okay. And if I need help, I need help. And I'm not going to do everything for everybody because I need to also focus on T. Okay. So, you can reach out to your friends, your trusted friends, your trusted family members, your professionals, and that can open up a new avenue for healing. Okay. I definitely encourage you to consider that and to create a network of support. for you an individual network of support. Even if you need to write down, okay, these are the things that I need help with. Let me figure out how to get help for these things. Maybe you need to barter with someone. Hey, if you keep my kids this night, I'll keep your kids this, if you keep my kids on the second and fourth Saturdays, I'll keep your kids on the first and third. You can work it out. Another key takeaway has been the importance of self-compassion. Because, listen, healing can be tough. It can be heavy. It can be challenging. Because sometimes you don't even know that you need to heal from something. It's like someone say, hey, how are you doing? Oh, I'm good. I'm good. I'm good. You don't address anything. You don't talk about things that are bothering you. You just compartmentalize it into one place and just move on and leave it there. You suppress it. But no, sometimes you need to address it so that you can overcome it and you can heal properly, right? And often we become our own worst critics. Trust me, I know. And you internalize that and never let it out. One day you might explode, right? So I want to encourage you to be kind to yourself and forgive yourself for the times that you might fall short, and to celebrate all of your small victories, because that can make a world of difference in your journey. Okay? So let's get personal. What am I healing from? So as I said it before, I'm healing through some things, y'all. I'm healing. But first and foremost, I am healing from grief. Okay? Now, I have lost my loved ones, families, and friends over the years, and I was very saddened by their passing. But honey, 2022, I lost my mother unexpectedly. And I can easily say that was the worst day of my life. And my heart will forever be broken by that. Losing your parents, it's heavy. But this podcast is actually dedicated to the memory and legacy of my mother, hence the butterfly in the logo. Because whenever I see butterflies, it reminds me of her. It really does. So I wanted to honor her in this moment. And I will be talking about grief in a later podcast episode. And it's going to be heavy, but I feel like it will be healing as well. And that is something that I wonder about, losing your mother. Will I heal? I think at this point I'm still healing. I can't really say I'm healed from that, because it's been a couple years, but I'm still navigating life without her, is the best way to put it. So next up, I am also healing from, no surprise here, toxic relationships. Okay. Boy, I wish I knew then what I know now. Boy, oh boy. But I don't think I'm actively healing on this topic. I feel like I'm healed because I'm definitely over these men. Definitely over them. But I do want to share some lessons that I've learned, because I learned some hard lessons. And I wish someone would have told me. Let me just say that. I wish someone would have told me, because I recently saw a post on social media where the post basically said, what 3 words would you tell your 18-year-old self? So let's think about it. What 3 words would you tell your 18-year-old self? And if you are 18 and younger, Of course, this does not apply to you. I'm talking about everybody else. But my 3 words would be focus on you with an exclamation point. Ooh, focus on you. Okay? Because guess what? I am definitely in a place of focus right now. And for many years, I have been focusing on becoming the best version of myself. And I am doing it again, right here and right now. Too often, we ensure everyone else is good and don't pour into ourselves. But I'm filling my cup up constantly because we cannot pour from an empty cup. Okay? So as we move forward with Healing Over Here, I want to hear from you. Your stories, your questions, your insights, they all matter to me. This podcast is a community for us. And together, we can create a safe and nurturing space for everyone. So please feel free to reach out to me through our website, our social media pages, or the link in the bio. But let's make this a collaborative and inclusive journey together. So, in our upcoming episodes, we have some incredible guests lined up. So please stay locked in and share this podcast. Also, please read all of the description boxes because for each episode, I will include show notes if applicable. For instance, if I have, let's just say, here are the 8 things that you should do to heal, I will list them in the show notes so you don't have to basically write anything or pause or rewind or any of that. It will be all in the show notes. And then we will also have different resources, digital products, freebies, things like that that will be available to our listeners. Okay? But thank you for tuning in to the very first episode of Healing Over Here. I'm so excited to have you on this journey with me. Remember, healing is a process, and every step you take, no matter how small or how big, is a step towards a better you. If you enjoyed this episode, please subscribe, share, rate, review, because your feedback helps us reach more people and create a stronger community. Stay tuned for our next episodes because we will definitely be talking about relationships. We're going to talk about all stages of relationships, okay? Friendships, forgiveness, grief. That's going to be heavy. But grief, leaving a legacy, and so much more. And I do have some very, very special guests I'm looking forward to bringing on really soon. So please stay locked in with me. But until next time, take care of yourself. Be kind, be kind, be kind to yourself. And remember, you are never alone in this journey, okay? We are here together. Bloom where you are planted. This is your host, T, signing off. And remember, we're healing over here. Bye.